The reality is Twitter at this point, has a very far left bias. And I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure, I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right. I know how hard you work on the car company. And then Biden, you've been a lifelong Democrat. You've donated to Obama and to everybody, probably never voted Republican. And Biden can't even say the word Tesla or invite you to the White House when they do an EV summit. What does it feel like to have that experience where the party you supported won't even say the name of your company or invite you there? They should be celebrating the work you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like this is not right. The issue here is that the Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by the trial lawyers, particularly the class action lawyers. And generally, if you'll see something that is not in the interest of the people, on the Democrat side, it's going to come because of the unions, which is just another form of monopoly, and the trial lawyers. And then, to be fair, on the Republican side, if you say like where there's something like not ideal happening, it's because of corporate evil and religious zealotry. But that's generally where the bad things will be coming from on the Republican side.
In this video, Elon Musk has once again swung around his gigantic nuts, kicked the hornet's nest, and said things that are accurate about reality that will no doubt cause incredible amounts of butthurt. And Elon warns the attacks, the lies, the misinformation, the hatred will continue to ramp up in the coming weeks and months. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store, so check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. So here's the tweet that has sent many people into an absolute tizzy from Elon Musk. Quote, "In the past I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party, but they have become the party of division and hate, so I can no longer support them and will vote Republican. Now, watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold." Now, before we get any further into this video, I just want to point out that what Elon has said here is actually reasonable and fair. I know some people will hear this, head so far up their own rectum that they can't actually hear what's being said. I totally get that. I've seen it a million times before, but I do want to make sure from the outset, any reasonable third-party observer here who doesn't have skin in the game, who hasn't been indoctrinated, isn't a lifelong Democrat or Republican, this, that, or the other, who can just objectively look at what's going on, will see this to be fair, accurate, and reasonable. To be clear, Elon is talking about the Democratic Party in the United States, not people who vote Democrat. Very important distinction. I do find it rather astonishing that members of the general public have the false impression that the Democrats are trying to unify people rather than divide. And before we get too much further, I just want to address the elephant in the room, because there's always a few of these morons in the comments, okay? And I do mean morons. In today's video, we are discussing the Democrat Party because that's what Elon's talking about. There's always a few wankers in the comments who, instead of acknowledging the valid criticism or discussing what's actually at hand, their only response, which is a huge tell, "But what about this, that, or the other example? Something we're not talking about right now today. That's worse. This is worse. They're worse. They did this. This is bad." If you want to be that person, please know that you're welcome to do that in the comments. I'm just calling it out now, so one, I can completely barbecue you, and two, so you understand that your head is actually firmly embedded up your ass and you can't actually think clearly. As someone who isn't a citizen of the United States of America and doesn't have a horse in the race and is also politically right down the center, not even kidding, I've been paying increasingly closer attention to what's happening within the political system, not just within the United States, but globally, because it's important to me as a Tesla stock investor to understand the dynamics. It is painfully obvious that the modus operandi, the driving force of the Democratic Party in the United States at this point in time, is to divide. Of course, the gaslighting suggests, no, it's all about unity, inclusion, diversity, and so on. But in reality, it's anything but. And again, I want to point out, we are not talking about Republicans, okay? We care about the environment. Next minute, don't invite Tesla or Elon Musk to the EV summit. Billionaires are the reason for all of our problems. Attack Elon, attack Jeff, attack everybody. If they've got money, they took it from us, okay? This is divisive. Senator Karen has run advertising campaigns on social media directly attacking, slandering Elon Musk, claiming that he's a freeloader, that he doesn't pay his fair share of taxes. Could that be a possible tactic to cause division between people who feel like everyone who's got money took it from somebody else and therefore they don't deserve it, and the people that actually added value to the world and have accumulated some financial resources? Nah. Elon Musk should be universally held up as a great example, lauded. Here's what you can do in the land of opportunity. Look at this. The guy's employing 100,000 people directly, 500,000 indirectly, all these jobs, the positive change, huge impact on the environment. Elon is an absolute legend. It doesn't matter what he says politically. We don't care. He's an awesome dude, a big inspiration. More people should aspire to be like Elon Musk. That would be slightly less divisive than attacking the guy who's probably done more positive things for the planet than just about anyone else I can think of. Elon's finally fed up. He's had enough. He's come out of the closet and said, look, I've never voted Republican in the past, or at least not that I can recall, but that's it. I can no longer in good conscience vote for a party that is so intentionally divisive and hateful. Again, voting for the party is not talking about Democrat voters. He's talking about the Democratic Party. Anyone remember that tweet from the dickhead with 3 first names on Twitter over a month ago that said, hey, thanks Elon Musk, free speech matters. The intense reactions we'll see in the wake of this offer from those who oppose free speech and seek to censor, silence and cancel will be a useful barometer for just how much this matters and how dangerous the path we are currently on is. Well, that was over a month ago, and this is today another tweet from Elon Musk. Quote, political attacks on me will escalate dramatically in coming months. Why would that be? Valid criticism? Tempting to uphold the principles of free speech, which is clearly dangerous to democracy. There's more. Someone responding to this tweet, when you are explicitly political, you should expect people to treat you as such. Which part of this is confusing to you? Loaded question there with a bit of a key assumption that was false. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, clearly he's not surprised. Anyone whose brain works would not be surprised. I mean, hello, this was over a month ago. I talked about it like a million times in videos on this channel. It's going to be attacks from politics, mainstream media, celebrities in Hollywood, and many parts of academia. Saw this all coming. So of course Elon isn't surprised. He's just pointing out this is going to happen. So back to Elon. Hilarious, by the way. I'm not surprised at all. That was to inoculate the public. As a prominent vaccine advocate, you should understand that. Yale is the epicenter of the woke mind virus attempting to destroy civilization. I know this is going to trigger a lot of people too. How many times have you heard me in the last few months saying most of academia leans heavily to the left? This is an accurate statement, although we can broaden this. In general, as I've said a million times, most of academia, not just within the US, but we are talking about the US today, most of academia within the United States is infected with the woke mind virus. But of course, some people just cannot accept this fact either. You can deny reality as much as you wish. Denial and wishes won't actually change the way things are. And now a tweet from the creator of Dogecoin. Quote, Elon Musk wants to improve the world for humanity. What an asshole. We at Garbage Political Party think helping the world is bad and prove it with our actions. Give us money. Elon responding, pretty much the dirty tricks and attacks will be next level. Elon suggesting that everyone get their popcorn ready and enjoy the show. Now let's watch the full clip of Elon Musk discussing his thoughts on the Republicans, Democrats, divisiveness, hatred, the woke mind virus, and why he'll be voting Republican in the future election for the first time in his life.
The reality is that Twitter at this point, has a very far left bias, and I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will.
Well, hold on. David, you okay? Keep going. He's fine. We're going to resuscitate him. We're going to resuscitate David Sachs. I mean, let me ask you a personal question.
The point I'm trying to make is that this is not some sort of attempt to, it's not some right-wing takeover, as say people on the left may fear, but rather a moderate-wing takeover, and an attempt to ensure that people of all, political beliefs feel welcome on a digital town square, and they can express their beliefs without fear of being banned or shadow banned, and that we obviously need to get rid of the bots and scams and trolls and people that are operating huge bot armies in an attempt to unduly influence the public opinion.
Just want to take a real quick moment here. What Elon is proposing here is reasonable, right? Do you disagree that it's reasonable for people to feel that they can freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, to discuss, to debate, and to engage in conversation? This is, after all, how we make progress and, yes, believe it or not, change our minds. At this point, forget everything else, but at this point, right, Elon's proposal seems reasonable, right? Let's allow more people to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas without fear of being banned, deplatformed, cancelled, and so on. I mean, reasonable, right? Yet, many on the political left will be attacking Elon Musk. We've already seen this, especially in the mainstream media. Much of it absolutely fake news. Shout out to the likes of MSNBS, I think that's their acronym, something like that, and the Crisis News Network, who are somehow distorting Elon's desire to allow the democratic process of free speech to occur into his thirst for violence, his desire to spread hate speech, to allow people to incite violence, and therefore he's a bad man, he's an evil billionaire, and he should be stopped at all costs.
Yeah. I have to ask, with regard to this current administration, I know how hard you work on the car company. And then Biden, you've been a lifelong Democrat. You've donated to Obama and to everybody, probably never voted Republican. And yet, and the same is true for Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is, a Bernie Sanders supporter. And that the Democratic Party has been openly hostile to Joe Rogan, and Biden can't even say the word Tesla or invite you to the White House when they do an EV summit. I'm curious, just on a very personal basis, what does it feel like to have that experience where the party you supported won't even say the name of your company or invite you there? They should be celebrating the work you're doing.
Now, before Elon responds, the answer is quite clear. We all know this. I've discussed this a trillion times on the channel. The United Auto Workers Union owns the Democratic Party of the United States. Just check out the last 3 decades of political donations from the UAW to different political parties. Almost every cent, I'm not even kidding, almost every cent has gone to the Democrats, almost nothing to the Republicans. This is political corruption at its finest. This is bribery at its finest, yet it's legalized bribery. This was a real wake-up call for me and many other folks out there who thought to themselves, hang on a minute, why on earth is it that Biden, the Democrats, won't even invite the company that's done more for electric vehicles and sustainability, something that the party campaigned heavily on, we care about the environment, electric cars and so on, got elected on? Why isn't it they wouldn't acknowledge, praise and hold up Elon and Tesla as examples of how to move in this direction? And again, I want to point out, at this point, when I started calling out this go, hey, Tesla should have been invited here, there were a few people, again, whose heads are so far up their rectums that they cannot think, maybe it's oxygen or nitrogen deprivation, something along those lines, whose immediate response was,
well, Tesla's already fully electric, they don't need to be there because they've already transitioned, you're an idiot, why do they don't need to tell Elon he's good, okay?
This type of response is coming from people whose heads are so firmly planted up their own behinds that they just can't see reality for what it is. You have to ask the question, why is it that a party that claims their goals, they really want to unify, they're all about inclusiveness, why is it that such a political party would then flat out refuse to invite Tesla to their EV summit, gaslight the American public by blatantly lying and claiming that General Motors had led the way in terms of electric vehicles? Why is it that there seemed to be a blanket ban on even saying the word Tesla anywhere in the media from the Democratic Party? The only reasonable explanation is political corruption. These swamp creatures do not have the interests of voters or the general public at heart. The thing that they seem to care about a lot more than reality is division. Remember, actions speak louder than words. It's not what people say, it's what they do. And what the Democratic Party in the United States have been doing since winning the recent election appears to almost directly oppose everything they said that mattered and that they cared about. And Elon is calling this out. And as a result, these kind, loving, caring, inclusive people, again, I'm talking about the Democratic Party, not Democratic voters, although there are some of those as well, are going to continue to ratchet up the hate, the vitriol, the venom, the lies, the disinformation, and the relentless attacks because Elon Musk is pointing out objectively accurate things.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like this is not right. Like this is the issue here is that there's just the Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by the trial lawyers, particularly the class action lawyers. And generally, if you'll see something that is not in the interest of the people, on the Democrat side, it's going to come because of the unions, which is just another form of monopoly, and the trial lawyers. That's where actions will be happening from the Democrat side. They're not in the interest of the people. And then, to be fair, on the Republican side, there's if you say like where there's something like not ideal happening, it's because of corporate evil and religious zealotry. That's generally where the bad things will be coming from on the Republican side.
Very keen observation.
That are not representative of the people. So in the case of Biden, he is simply too much captured by the unions, which was not the case with Obama. So in the case of Obama, you could have, he was sort of quite reasonable. And I think he took more of a view that, obviously you need to take the concerns of the unions into account, but there are bigger issues at stake. And unfortunately, Biden does not do that.
Again, all fair and reasonable points from Elon Musk. And this is why the guy knows the attack's going to continue, in fact, ramp up in the coming weeks and months. I know many Tesla stock investors out there would prefer Elon just keeps this stuff to himself and doesn't ruffle any feathers, but I completely relate to why Elon says what's on his mind. 1, he has testicles, and 2, he regularly employs them, something that cannot be said for 99.9% of the world's population. It takes courage to speak out against corruption and things that you believe to be wrong. especially with the foreknowledge that by doing so, you will be attacked, slandered, smeared, insulted, derided, discredited, and have a relentless barrage of venom, vitriol, and hate slung in your direction. So if you're a Tesla stock investor, the message is quite clear. Brace for impact. The attacks will be coming thick, hard, and fast. There's probably a really inappropriate joke there, but I'm not going to go there. I experienced this myself on a much smaller scale. Every time I drop a truth bomb on this channel, talk about something that's important, point out corruption, wrongs, injustices, and so on, there's a small but very vocal group of people who go absolutely berserk in the comments. But, ladies and gentlemen, much like Elon Musk, I will continue to speak my mind on things that are important. I'm not concerned about the consequences. And spoiler alert, to the weenie babies in the comment who keep threatening to unsubscribe from the channel if I keep talking about things that aren't related to Tesla. I mean, I can't believe I need to explain this, but I don't care if you watch these videos or not. I really don't. I mean, if you're getting bothered by these, I highly encourage you to unsubscribe from the channel, and please don't let the door hit you on the way out. I do my best to clearly label these videos, so I do find it surprising that people will be clicking on stuff expecting one thing when the title and thumbnail clearly suggest something else, but that's a whole other matter. That being said, I am doing my best to create as much Tesla-centric content as possible. It's just I only have so much time and energy in the day, and if something really important comes up and I need to discuss it, I will. You may have noticed yesterday, 2 videos, one day. Wasn't easy, but had a lot to discuss. And just finally, rather than having to barbecue a bunch of morons in the comments, let me tell you some things that people will say in response to this video who probably won't have watched the video in full, just predictable stuff. So rather than me having to respond, I can say, you know, I did mention exactly what you were going to say and why it's dumb before you said it in the video, which you obviously didn't watch in full. 1. Donald Trump was worse. Orange man bad, blah, blah, blah. Now, just for the record, Donald Trump is a nasty human being. He's vicious, vindictive, petty. I could go on and on and on and on. Clearly anything but a great human being. But again, we're talking about Democrats, not Donald Trump. Another one.
You're from Australia. You don't know anything, man. Shut the f*** up about US politics. You don't know f***ing anything.
Which, great point, because you have to live in a country to know anything about anything to do with that country. There's no way to get any information unless you're literally in the geographical location, right? It's a good point. You got me there. You really got me there. I guess I should shut up. For the people who are genuinely suffering from some form of brain damage, I'm going to be called a misogynist, a sexist, a racist, a homophobe, a Nazi, a transphobe. What are you missing here, guys? Let me know in the comments. What else am I? Oh, a white supremacist. Yeah, that's all. Got it. Yep, you got me. Good one. And then, of course, there's going to be the people who point out that by talking about these controversial issues, I'm going to lose lots of subscribers and viewers. And guess what? 1, I'm aware, and 2, 0 fucks given. And I mean 0 fucks given. You haven't noticed by now that I don't care? You haven't noticed me never say to
smash the like button and subscribe to the channel because I need you very much. I need you. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm desperate.
Oh, and that's right. The other thing that I'm going to get in the comments below is the people who don't truly understand the current definition of woke, and when they hear a term like woke mind virus, they maybe jump on Google, clearly not a company infected by the woke mind virus, and do a quick search for what does woke mean rather than woke mind virus. They get a search result, something along the lines of caring a lot about discrimination and justice socially. I mean, that sounds like a great thing, man. And then obviously decide I'm a terrible human being. If you do not understand what we're talking about when we refer to the woke mind virus, this has nothing to do with caring about social justice or any form of justice. The woke mind virus, as Elon Musk has said, gives people an excuse, a shield to hide behind, under the guise of caring, being inclusive. When the truth is, this just creates a shield for people who are emotionally damaged, full of hatred, deeply insecure, self-loathing, and so on, to spit venom at others. Of course, this venom is almost universally spat under the guise of caring about something, but really it's just an attempt to signal virtue, I think, from people who don't have enough self-love to feel like they matter and are worthy of love, without proving to everybody what a good person they are by caring about the latest cause, supporting the current thing. This matters, that's wrong, this is right, what are we protesting, what do we hate, who do we like, okay great, let's do that, look at me, I'm important, please love me. We seem to be at a breaking point in modern civilization. I'm sure over the long term we get through this, but to me, these are some of the teething pains of humanity continuing to evolve and improve. It's important for us to be able to have these kinds of discussions and debates. On a positive note, I have noticed in the comments over time, week after week, month after month, more and more people who've decided to stick around despite the fact that I said something that was clearly wrong and they don't like it, who've started to say, you know what dude, 3, 4, 6, 12 months ago I thought you were an absolute moron and completely fucking wrong and just a conspiracy theorist, and I've realized you actually had some fair points, and you know, I'm kind of sorry that I doubted you in the comments. Hey, that's fine, don't worry, I don't need your approval. Never did. I don't mind if you believe or don't believe. I don't mind if you think I'm completely deluded or not. But I can't stay quiet. I need to call these things out. So, In short, here's what happens from here. Elon Musk has now officially called out the hatred and the divisiveness of the Democratic Party of the United States one more time. Not the voters, although there's many of them. No, the party itself. You can guarantee that the majority of the mainstream media in the United States, not all, the majority, which leans heavily to the left, and again, some people just cannot accept this. I mean, I'm not even going to. Large portions of academia, many, if not all, within the Democratic Party, Hollywood celebrities, and so on, will be viciously attacking Elon Musk, his character, his values, making up lies, spreading disinformation, coming after Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, Neuralink, you name it. All bets are off. The attacks will be vicious, relentless, and enduring. Elon knows they're coming, I know they're coming, and dear Tesla stock investors, make sure you know they're coming too. So, hope you guys and girls have enjoyed the video, but if you didn't, well, honestly, I don't actually really care. That being said, if you'd like some more content along these lines, a lot of this discussion has been happening exclusively on Patreon now for the last 12, 18, 24 months. I'm able to share my thoughts, opinions, and ideas a lot more freely over there. In fact, there's some questions I'm not even allowed to ask out loud on. Literally, there's certain questions I can't even ask on YouTube. I'll instantly get banned. I kind of wish I was joking, and I'm definitely not. So if you'd like access to well over 100 exclusive Q&A videos on all sorts of topics, plus access to my Tesla stock price targets out over the next decade, click the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment to join Patreon, and I'll see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel, and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.